Hello, friends, and welcome to the most glorious of events, the Movie Mavericks podcast. This outstanding program is hosted by two fine gentlemen, Jason and Trevor. Now make it so.
MovieMavericks.com.
Hey now everybody, welcome to episode 382 of the Movie Mavericks podcast. I'm Trevor Anderson, sitting over to Jason Rugard. He's got a rundown for us.
All right, on tonight's show, I'm doing this off the top of the head here because I actually don't have the rundown in front of me. I am ill-prepared.
Hey, I forgot to send it to you. Hey,
it's okay. I'm not pointing fingers.
I can give it to you. I'll send it to you right now.
Oh, thanks.
I got it.
That's our ace producer right there. We're right on task.
I don't know how this works. Yeah.
I know that I can probably just remember the movies that we're going to talk about tonight. We'll be discussing Avatar. I know that. Shotgun Wedding. Babylon. Smile, Bullet Train. This is just coming off the top of the head. There we go.
Hey, you know what? I sent it to you. There we go. That's what I like to hear.
There we go.
I just slipped in. All right, there you go.
Hey, that's not bad. Off the top of the memory, I got most of those right. We'll be discussing also the Cinema of Albert Pyun, who sadly passed away back in December. Talking a little bit about Scream 6 and Gladiator 2, and as well as trailers for Dungeons and Dragons, Barbie, John Wick 4, Knock at the Cabin Door, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So we got a packed show. It's been a while since I talked to my buddy here, and it's good to be talking to you, man. Happy New Year. I'm about a month late.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while, you know. And you were actually down my way, and then you didn't even come by.
I know. I was the asshole that flew in and out very quickly.
But you did something that I want to hear all about because you went to this. I guess it's a UK company thing where they get actors or directors or whoever, and they do like a showing type thing, which is like kind of like a convention type thing, but it was Sylvester Stallone, and obviously you had to do it because he's your favorite fucking person in the world. And so what was it like?
Well, first of all, I've met Stallone once before at an event, and I got a picture with them, and I love the picture I got with them. That's my favorite picture I've ever taken with a celebrity by far, so I was happy to get that. So the pressure was off to get a good picture. But this was called An Evening with Stallone, and it was down in the Hollywood area at the reception place for the Oscars. So it had very little reception. You couldn't live stream from it. Your phones really didn't work in there, but it was a black tie affair. I was in a tux, and it was about 60 tables, almost set up like a banquet style, like a wedding. And I was on
the black tie event, so you had to wear.
You had to wear. Yeah, really? I was wearing a tux. Yeah, it was gowns and tux. It was no joke, man. It was
to some degree for people who are listening to this. This is not uncommon for whatever company runs this. They do this with several actors and stuff. So you're talking about like a right event here, like a proper event.
Like, this was a proper. My man, I was talking to people in line who flew in from the Ukraine, who flew in from Philadelphia. There was an international audience of people that flew in just for that night. So I felt like, I had only come from the Bay Area down south, so it was a quick flight for me. But people were leaving that night to get back to make flights to Chicago. I met the people at my table were from Atlanta, Chicago, Sweden. One guy was from Ecuador. This was absolutely, and I thought, I thought I was the biggest Stallone geek,
but or something like
absolutely. Okay. It was a silent auction. He'd signed a bunch of stuff, and let me tell you, they did a silent auction, and it was run by the UK guys, and so they kept saying pounds instead of dollars. But some of these items, like the jacket from Rocky IV that he wears when he's training, went for $35,000.
Right. You're supposed to, put off
$35,000. Let me tell you this: the gun from Cobra, which was not even the real gun, just a gun that was $17,000.
I want it.
A signed light box that had a boxing glove from Carl Weathers and one from Stallone went for about $11,000. The Rambo knife went for about $5,000. So this was a very heavy-hitting crowd in terms of what was the money being thrown around. He came out on stage and he first of all, he blew Kailani a kiss, which was hilarious. We got it on film. And where he's sitting, we're the front of the stage to his left, but who's sitting right next to me, literally I could touch her with my arm, is his wife and Terrence Winter, the writer of Sopranos and Tulsa King.
Right,
and some crew who's filming presumably for their reality show. So He's really just, the lady interviewing him was not very knowledgeable. And when I say, I was in a room full of fans.
It was like James Lindsay is what you're saying.
No, this was not. This was a gal who was a young English gal, didn't really know a whole lot about his history.
Yeah, like
he was asking
it's a UK thing. This is, I think it's so interesting.
First event they've ever done in the U.S.
This is the first one, yes, but they've done, or they have lined up several other ones. So I'm
let me tell you about the shit show this became.
Well, this is good. Oh, it's a shit show.
It was going so well, my man, until. So I'm at a table, like I said, I'm a fan, but I'm meeting super fans that are willing to wager money that is unheard of on items. And the guy at my table won a raffle.
Wait, hold up. So this is going on for you right now. The fucking, hold up. The auction's live, like right now? Like he's on stage and they're auctioning the shit off?
Yes.
No fucking way.
So the auction then's done, and they go into the interview part, and now the interview part's done, and we have a picture with him. Now, Kailani, or my gal says to me, look, let's get out of here and let's get in line first. And now we're in line, and she starts laughing because I'm talking to this guy in front of me who flew in from Philadelphia. He's got a camera. He says, hey, I'll film you if you can film me, because they're shuffling you right in. It's not like there's no chance to pitch him anything, to say anything. It's a wham, bam, move it along. I know how it goes because I've met him before. So that's fine to go. But now we're in line, and now they're starting to let people cut in front of us. And I'm starting to get a little, if you know me, I like to have order and not chaos. You know what I mean? Yes. There's no cutsies. You know what I mean? 100%. I get real territorial about shit. You're not going to get one on me. So long story short, I get in, I do my thing. I say to him, you're my idol, sir. He says, thank you. We get a nice picture together. I move along. He eye fucks my gal, gives her a big smile, has a big thing, walks off, and she comes up to me and goes, he eye fucked me. And I go, I know, isn't it great? And so I'm stoked about it. Now we're outside. There's probably 600-700 people that are lined up for photos, memorabilia. I didn't tell you my best part. There was a painting by a guy named John Ravoli who has this painting. There's 3 of them in the world. 2 of them hang in Stallone's house. This guy spent $15,000 buying the 3rd one, okay? He's 2 people in front of me in line to meet Stallone. He's drinking red wine, almost spilling it on the painting and dragging it on the floor as he's talking to me. And I'm just like, the money that's being thrown around here. The guy who painted it? The guy who's fucking, who bought the painting. He's just dragging it across the floor. Who bought it. Oh, God. Yeah. With his glass of wine, talking about his Florida beach house. And
wonderful.
Wonderful. So long story short, we get our picture, we get outside, all of a sudden people are crying, and I'm hearing, fuck him, this, that, and the other. Well, there was some snafu, and the event ran over, and they said that he said he wasn't feeling well. Well, it went to TMZ. This company, apparently, he had a certain amount of time. They ran over. They're pointing fingers. It was all over TMC. People flew in, were in tears that they didn't get to meet him. So luckily, I got to meet him before all hell broke loose. But I was saying this, hey, man, there's 2,000 people here that are supposed to meet him, and this is the height of COVID still at that point. We're talking a couple months ago, it was flaring back up, and we got to protect this man at all fucking costs. He's 76 years old. I don't want him shaking hands with 20,000 fucking people in here. But long story short,
he takes his vitamin D, I'm sure.
Oh man, you should have seen this one guy. There was a heavy-set fella running around with the mohawk, imitating Mr. T, but it was like Mr. T plus 250 pounds, but not of muscle, okay? And this guy had the look and was doing the thing and taking pictures with people. He's outside pouting. People want pictures with him, and he goes, no, I'm charging $25. I didn't make no money tonight. Stallone's in here making this. I should be making money. And it's like, dude, you're a fucking, you're basically, you're like dressing up as Jack Sparrow, and you want money for it like it's your creation. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I'm telling this guy basically go fuck himself. And long story short, the Uber finally comes to get out of there because the mood is turning very disgruntled there. There's a lot of people. Are spent a lot of money. There's a lot of alcohol flowing. They didn't get what they wanted. I got what I wanted, so I'm in a good mood.
Fucking paintings that they're dragging around.
Yeah, I mean, this rich guy from Chicago is convinced that my girlfriend is a Bollywood star and wants to. Will take won't believe me that she's not.
Watch where you take that hot girlfriend of yours.
Yeah, man. So the Uber pulls up, and I put her in the back seat, and I go to walk around, and the guy is not very fluent in English, and the car in front of him wanted to go, and he panicked, and he went in reverse, and it was a Tesla, and it went real fast, and I came inches from being sucked under a car and ran over. to where I screamed at him, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" Because my arm got caught in the door and my leg was going under. So it was a hell of a night. And I was in the back laughing like I met my idol and almost got killed within 25 minutes of each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck else happened? So sorry, guys, if you're out there listening. That was a very long-winded way to tell that story. But that was my night of meeting my idol. And my gal was laughing because we were in line, and I'm talking to this guy from Philly and helping him, and he's going to help me. And long story short, she goes, all of you guys are super anxious and nervous, but there's so much testosterone that you all are trying to like out testosterone the other. She's like, but you're all scared little boys in here wanting to meet your father figure. And she nailed it on the head. That's basically what it was.
The fact, like, even Stallone's involvement, I can, sure. If Schwarzenegger was there, I'd be the same way. And Stallone, I'd be the same way. Like, I get it. Van Damme, I'd be the same way. Like, I got it. Yeah,
I gotta say, this was.
You gotta flex on that shit,
I do have to give my girl credit for this thing as well. As the event was done, I was going to tell her to do this, and she on her own just immediately grabbed Stallone's wife and said, "Jennifer, may I get a picture?" And she said, "Sure." And then Stallone's wife told her how beautiful she was. Everyone was saying they could be sisters. We got the picture, and then they moved on. She gave her a hug, and they moved on. So that was a nice moment because people thought that we were somehow connected with the family, And so my ultimate goal is that we're going to be friendly and start hanging out for Christmases and the whole nine.
And
So I did that, and I also went to the Warner Brothers tour.
I know. That's what I want to ask you as well. How was that? Because I'd been there a decade plus ago to that tour, and the Friends set was there. The whatever coffee shop.
Yep, Central
set
Perk
was there. I wonder if that was still there, and I really love the back lot that they have there. Their back lot is really, I think actually their back lot is better than the Universal back lot for shooting stuff. They have a fantastic section there that's just like standard housing track type thing.
What's the Desperate Housewives
it goes
Street?
Out. It's the that's where they shot Desperate Housewives. So there's a standard housing track thing. And then you step out of there, and then there's a huge there's
New
a
York
church,
Street?
and then there's a
gazebo in the center.
There's a gazebo in the center, and so this is where they shot Gilmore Girls and all this stuff. Was in there.
A ton of WandaVision was shot there.
100%. Yeah, it's just a beautiful area. That's just like, wow, like does not look like it's in the middle of LA. And then on the other side of that is downtown, not downtown, but
it's like a New York set.
Fucking New York, yeah.
Well,
so it's incredible.
To prove your point on that.
As far as Universal goes, Universal has some really cool sets and stuff, but I really think the Warner Brothers set is better. Just in my mind,
this was
if
the
I was
second
to imagine
time.
Where I would shoot stuff. So go ahead.
This is
were
the second
there
time I had been there
ago.
recently. I had been there about 2 maybe 3 years ago, and it was not as busy. Obviously, there wasn't as much shooting going on, so the sets were more deserted, and you got to see a lot more. This time when I went there, every production was racing to get stuff done because I went there late December before the Christmas break, so you weren't really allowed to go down the streets as much because there was a lot of closed filming going on. So I had seen a lot of it already, but you're right. I mean, there was one section where it's a street, and they go, this is where Batman in Returns drove down and watched the Penguin go in the library doing this. And you're like, what the fuck? How did they do that? But, I mean, they were filming Bob Hart's Aisha there, whatever that show is, All American. I mean, there's I've come to realize I don't watch enough television any longer to really keep up with all the shows that are being filmed there. But the sound stages themselves are unbelievable because every soundstage has a little plaque on it that tells you the history of what was filmed there.
Yes, they have the old shows that were there. Like when you go to watch a show that's currently playing, you see the
Lethal
old
Weapon
shows that were there. Yes, I know. That's why I think that place is better than look, the Universal Studio Tour is great, but if you get a chance, go to the Warner Brothers Studio Tour because it's subdued, I guess, would be the way that I would say it, because it's surprising. The Universal Studio Tour is in your face, it's obvious, right, for all that stuff.
Yeah, it's more of an amusement.
But then when you go to the Universal store, it's up to your imagination. Then you also hear all this stuff that was shot there, and this is shot there, and this is shot there, and this there, and that there, and then you start to realize, like, oh, like, framing matters, and like how you shoot this matters, and where you are in this lot, like, matters. Like, it's so imaginative. It's just incredible.
Well, you know what? Universal feels fabricated movie magic.
Yes.
Warner Brothers feels like real movie magic when you're there.
Yes.
You're like, oh, my goodness.
Exactly.
And what's funny is you'll never not notice those fake backlots again. So when you're watching, there's a commercial right now, and John Cena's in it, clearly filmed on that Warner Brothers backlot. If you ever watch it on YouTube, there's a behind-the-scenes making 100%. Of Lethal Weapon 2 with Mel Gibson, the unauthorized video diary, all filmed on that backlot. It's very, very fun.
I agree. Going on that tour and then watching movies or shows or anything after that point, you're like, oh, that looks familiar. Oh, that's the fucking Warner Brothers lot.
Redressed, refabricated, repurposed.
Yeah, it's like you start realizing this stuff, and the Universal lot's a lot like that, obviously, but it's so obvious for the Universal stuff. I don't know why. It's more interesting for the Warner Brothers stuff. I just feel like it's more interesting.
Yeah, I feel like more craftsmanship goes into that for some reason. I know it's the same unions and all this, but
it's
for some reason, because they have their own mill.
Yeah.
I mean, they walked us through. This was really interesting. I didn't do last time, but they walked us through the prop department, which is basically
they did that when I went there 10 years ago.
Themselves. Yeah, unbelievable the amount of shit they have in there.
Oh yeah, one of the things about the Universal Studio tours that is so commercial that you miss out on the actual how the shit works, and they do that on the Warner Brothers stuff.
Yep.
They explain it to you how the shit works and how prop stuff works, how they rent stuff out, and how all stuff, like what you're saying.
The studio charges itself. And then they
charges
charge
everybody
themselves.
Because that's the idea of it, right? Is that everyone comes, so all the studios are open. Anyone can go shoot a movie anywhere they want. Whatever studio is open for your movie to shoot at. Like if you're Universal and you're making a movie, but your lot's all booked, you can go to Warner Brothers. You can shoot your movie there. They're all open like that. They all open everything. On the TV studios, all that stuff's like that. And so you can go to any place you want to, shoot your movie, book your whatever the hell you're going to want to book, like your I guess I'm imagining every place has a
prop department, a wardrobe department, all that stuff. Well,
yes,
those are the major
and
departments.
So that's how they make money, and so they share that amongst themselves.
Dude, Warner Brothers is so huge. They have their own mill for all the woodwork and all the framing they do to build these sets. It's unfucking believable. And not only that, when we were driving through the lot there, they were shooting the second season of Winning Time. And at that point, they had all these vintage Lakers and Celtics jerseys out.
Yep.
So they must be... Yeah, so it's like I said, you come out of there, and that's where you feel the movie magic.
We went through the Warner Brothers lot when I first went there. Gilmore Girls was still shooting, and what's her name?
Is it Graham? Laura Graham?
No, not her, but the other one, the one that got really big, and
I never watched the show. I just
and stuff. No. Because she was in the Heat, the opposite of Sandra Bullock in the Heat.
Melissa McCarthy?
Melissa McCarthy, thank you. From Gilmore Girls. Yes,
she was in Gilmore Girls.
Oh, yeah, that's where it started,
Well, I can miss the beginnings.
She's really a good actress. She's really fucking fantastic. Really great in Gilmore Girls, if anyone likes Gilmore Girls. But yeah, that was going on there. We were driving through that set, and we saw her coming through on another cart or whatever, which was interesting about the Warner Brothers tour, as well as it's fucking live, like Universal's
people
not
are running
always
around.
live. Universal's not always like that. Like when they shoot at Universal, they block that shit off and you don't get to go there.
Oh, I was afraid that Jason Momoa was going to come up on a fucking beach cruiser and steal my girl.
At Universal, they do that. Like they block that shit off. You don't get to go there. At Warner Brothers, that shit's always live.
Courtney Cox was there the day after we were there.
I recommend people go to that Warner Brothers tour always.
I do as well.
Great.
It's fun. It really is fun. And if you can do the VIP, it's just a small upgrade, and they just give you a little bit more time. But really, Warner Brothers is still milking The Big Bang and Friends like you wouldn't believe to make their money. Oh, that's where most of it is.
I've been to The Big Bang a taping of that. I've been taping of several things, so I'm surprised that they would still do that. But they were with the Friends thing. What did they do with the Big Bang thing? Or where you were there?
They just have so much memorabilia. They have the seat, the set still where you can sit on the couch in his spot, and the elevators that
Friends,
don't work.
Yeah,
and
they had.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
when I was there.
they have a bunch of. They just
I
really
was there
you can
10
tell.
years ago, so they still have that 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
After I was there. Wow.
100%. Yeah. So they're still
Holy
milking
crap.
that. And the DC stuff, which is now going to be, totally in disarray. But when I was there, Black Adam had just come out not too long before. So
what
they're really
DC
pushing
stuff
that.
did they have there?
Oh, I mean, they have a whole DC and Harry Potter area where you go and you see all the Batmobiles,
really?
all the suits. Oh, yeah, they had the Christopher Reeve Superman suit, the Henry Cavill ones, all the Batman suits, all the Justice League guys. Yeah, they have a whole DC section that tails off then into a Harry Potter like area where they have some spells and shit like that, which is interesting because they licensed the ride to Universal, because I went to Universal as well, and I'll briefly say that I'm not a roller coaster person, and I was already fucking nauseous, and I went on the Harry Potter ride, and it got fucking stuck while I was laying on my back on half of a flip. So I was laying on my back in dark while this fucking ride was stuck. And I'm sitting next to, and I went single rider style because everyone in our group said that's how you can get on this thing faster. So I'm sitting next to a 7-year-old going, fuck, in the dark. It's not while her and her dad are like sitting there and she's kicking her feet and I'm having a panic attack. I guess is not what I signed up for. So, anyways, I think roller coasters might be out of my future from now. I used to love roller coasters, but they just make me sick now.
Me too. And it's rare. Like I need I need something that's straight up your roller coaster, like not I don't know, loop-de-loops and like shit. Yeah, exactly.
In the dark and shit coming at you.
Like a regular roller
3D.
coaster, I'm good. I can do that.
I mean, even the Transformers ride was making me nauseous. I think I've just lost my ability to focus on things
like
that are
the
moving
Simpsons
around
ride
fast.
At Universal.
Same thing.
The a lot of those rides that are now virtual in some way, like the Simpsons ride, which is very like it's obviously it's not a real roller coaster, but it's like a pneumatic. Like they move the stuff around, but like you see the screen, so you think like you're moving in a certain way, but you're not. It's like it's simulated.
I closed my eyes.
Totally
I was
simulated.
getting nauseous. I closed my eyes. I didn't realize it was 4D, and it shot water, so that was even
4D,
more
that's
shocking.
a good way.
Because I had my eyes closed and water hit my face when I wasn't expecting it to. What the fuck is going on in this thing? So, it was that's my. I know this is a movie podcast, but that was my roundabout 20-minute long intro to this. But let's talk movies, my man.
What else you got? What else you got? You got some trivia for us, maybe. I think
I do got some trivia for you here. Canon Films was known as kind of for their schlocky exploitation films, a lot of sequels, a lot of Bronson, Norris. Yeah, right. Movies that I loved. Maybe created the ninja craze of the 80s. Maybe was the most directly responsible.
Maybe.
Yeah, outside of the Ninja Turtles itself. But, all right, so they did, on occasion, have a couple of movies that did score with critics. Now, a number of actors were nominated, 3 of them, for Oscars for performing in a Canon-produced film. I'm going to give you 4 names. Out of these 4 names, one person did not get nominated for an Oscar for performing in a Canon film. All right? If that's clear enough. The first person.
Yes.
Morgan Freeman. The second person, Roy Scheider. The third person, Eric Roberts. And the fourth person is Jon Voight. Which one of those actors did not get nominated for an Oscar for appearing in an Oscar film? Or in a Canon film?
I'll first say this. I have absolutely no idea, but I'm going to guess Roy Scheider.
And that would be the correct guess. Yeah, nicely done.
No fucking way.
Yeah, he's the only one that didn't get nominated. The other ones is Morgan Freeman got nominated for Street Smarts, which is a Christopher Reeve film that they did, was a passion project. He played a killer pimp.
Yeah.
Not a bad movie.
Not a bad movie.
And Runaway Train, Eric Roberts and Jon Voight.
Those are the ones. For
Runaway Train.
Both that one?
Same for the same movie, yeah. Both not Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor. So
is it weird that just by person I was able to do that? Because really, I had no idea, but just by person, I was like, yeah, it's probably the person that would be.
But you know what?
out.
I was thinking for
Is
some
that
reason.
weird? Like, for
I
some reason,
thought
I
he
can
was
do that
nominated.
Sometimes,
I thought he was nominated for 52 Pickup. I don't know why, but I always assumed he was nominated for that.
Which is a great fucking movie. Actually, probably, well, you know,
as good as the others.
Better than the other ones you just said.
Yeah, as good.
To be honest with you.
I mean, John Glover in that is fucking fantastic. As the bad guy is fantastic. Yeah, so well done. I mean, you killed that trivia. I'm glad you got that one. Starting the year off strong, 1 for 1.
I guess so.
You're a madman already.
It just came to me, you know. I do. Out of everyone here, though, well, I don't know out of everyone here. All 4 of those dudes are fucking great actors.
Yeah, can hold the screen immensely.
You know, and Eric Roberts, I mean, what would the Asylum do without Eric Roberts?
And not only that, Eric Roberts commits. I know now it's not as much, but I was watching something
100%.
called TNT. You ever seen TNT with Oliver Grunier in 1997
hell yes.
film?
Have I ever
Directed
seen
by
it?
Robert Radler, who did the best of the best.
Yes. Are you fucking kidding me? Yes, please. Can
Eric
I turn that
Roberts
on right now, please?
Yes, I watched it on Tubi. You can watch it tonight when we get off here.
Please.
Oh man, we just lost most of our audience now. They're like, what the fuck movie are they talking about? Now, let's talk about a movie that people might have seen. This is Shotgun Wedding. You got a chance to watch this. It premiered on Prime this weekend. Skipped a theatrical release. The only thing I know about this movie is that it was supposed to star Armie Hammer. He was obviously replaced with Josh Duhamel. I like Josh Duhamel. He's a pretty good leading man in the other romantic comedies I've seen. So how was it?
It was okay.
Just okay?
You know, I couldn't imagine if Armie Hammer was in this, it would be even any better because it was just okay. It was just nonsense. People, they're getting married and then they're getting held up at gunpoint and they're running around doing other things. And that's the whole movie. Like, there's no through point. There's no, I guess I would say the director and writer of this just didn't really make a complete film.
Let me ask you something. Compare it to The Lost City, the Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum one.
So not
that's
as
what it
good
kind of
as
had
that,
vibes of.
But I still feel but still the same way as that. Like that movie was not complete, right? Like it didn't feel like they totally went all the way around on that one, and this one feels less than that. It just doesn't meet any kind of sense of like I don't know. It has its moments. You chuckle here and there. It's fine for when you watch it, but overall, it just has no meaning. You know, and we'll talk about another wedding movie here on that has a great amount of meaning and is a fucking fantastic movie. So why would you make this? I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know why you make this.
It didn't obviously bode well that this came without any fanfare to streaming, to Prime specifically here, and was supposed to have a theatrical release. This is the second movie of Lopez's that went straight to streaming. I mean, Marry Me, which was a bit of fluff, but is, enjoyable fluff.
And she's not bad in this. And as you say, Josh Duhamel's not bad in this. Lenny Kravitz is not bad in this. But I called this movie early on. I called exactly what's happening in this out loud. Like, oh, is this fucking shit? And then it fucking was. And that's not helpful because it's not good shit. So that's about as
succinctly put as can be right there. They're going to quote you on the movie.
I don't want to give it away. I'm not giving it away. If anyone wants to watch this, please watch it. It was fine.
All right. So are you recommending it or not recommending it? No minor non-recommendation?
Oh, if you have nothing else to watch, yeah, sure. If you want to watch something that is standard, but not like it doesn't hurt you in any way, whatever, it's fine. That's what it is.
All right, a little bit of fluff for you.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on and talk about Avatar 2, the film that was #1 at the box office for 7...
of Pee-Pee.
The Way of the Water. This is 3 hours and 15 minutes. I saw this about the second week it was out. So I saw it a few weeks back. You just saw it recently, I think maybe last week or the week before.
I saw it at fake IMAX, yeah. And by fake IMAX, I mean I saw it in 3D for about 15 minutes, and then after that it was 2D because their second projection gave out, and it was never in the high frame rate they claimed it was.
Oh,
so I'm super
man.
happy
Okay.
I watched this.
Oh, well,
that being said, it's not a bad movie.
it's not. I actually
Surprisingly,
think it's.
not a bad movie. Super
I think it's a
too
step-
long. Way
Hold on,
too fucking long.
You didn't love the first one though. So where do you rank this? Because I put this a step below the first one because I really enjoyed the first one, but I
think
did
it's about
find
the
moments
same.
of awe.
That's the same. I really, in all honesty, I didn't like the first one. I don't really like this one, but it's fine. Like you want to watch this a movie where shit happens and things explode. Hey, this is it. Because it's
I
not
think
bad.
Stephen Lang is the whole reason this movie has any sort of existing.
Well, first of all, 100% like the bad guys in this are great.
Yeah.
But I'll also put this that the good guys are fucking good too. Like I like the idea of this movie. Like they don't fuck around. Like they're like, oh, we got shit to do. Like we have the fucking life to live, and like we can die at any moment. Like people do, and there's like shit, and like there are moments where it's just like, holy shit. Like when the fucking mom is like, oh my god, like the kid died and shit, and she's just like, fuck all. You're like, yeah, like I fucking feel like there's emotion in this movie that works 100%. The movie as a whole is too fucking long.
Yeah, the son gets captured one too many times for me. That got redundant.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there was some the action sequence though. I mean that sequence where it's basically the whale, the Moby
Which
Dick
one?
sequence. I'll call it.
Oh.
How
is
horrible
fantastic.
is that, though?
Oh, how
dude, that
fantastic
with the
and
arm.
horrible,
it just
right?
goes. But the imagination, that set piece, the kind of work that went into that, I was along for the ride. I even got caught up in the
Beautiful-looking movie,
spider.
too.
The kid, the human kid's relationship with the
and the spider
quasi father,
because they do a good job of emotions. They do a good job of taking people and making them. This is a good guy and this is the bad guy. They do a great fucking job of that, and then blending that throughout the movie. Like, is this guy a good guy or is this guy a bad guy? Because he believes in relatively the same thing you believe in. Like this does a better job of what I think the first movie tried to do, of having people come in and it's a rough life and they're trying to live and they have to do this. There's no choice, right? They have to push through for their society, for the people that whatever they support. Like they have to come in and take over and fucking do this, and they don't have to, of course, right? It's the other side of this, but yeah, it's better than the I don't. What would you call the first one? Like
I love the first one.
But
you know why I like the first one a lot?
Before this, but the first one would be like what the I was gonna say the John, but what's the Pocahontas type?
Dancing with Wolves. You talking about?
Yeah, what was? But I thought
Smith.
this one did a better job of that than the first one. For whatever reason, I think this one did a better job.
Do you know what this one
of
has?
That.
In my opinion, it has one character that I feel is very weak in it that I was not interested in, is the girl with the Sigourney Weaver character. Her daughter.
I
didn't
somewhat
care
agree with
for that.
but I really like the idea of like this. So this is the Way of Water, and I kind of fucking loved when they went to the Way of Water. And you know what I'm talking about? When they went from the forest to the water part, and they had to like do that whole thing, and he had to, as the father, like deal with that. And again, this is such a fucked up, fucking weird story, science fiction fucking shit. Because like he's not himself, right? But he is the former him who is now embodying this. It's for real.
Oh, you'll
like,
lose your mind.
I mean, seriously, like if you fucking go through this thing, it's like, oh my God, like what's going on? But it still relates to you because you're like, oh, he's the father of these people and he's now trying to take them to this other father's like world and he rules, and like he's like constantly like, I'm sorry for my kids, like, but like you're like right, like whatever the fuck you think is like good. And I don't know, I fucking love this. I liked the idea of how this movie dealt with different people of like different areas, and like I don't know.
Well, I thought once again the father son, even though that he has their daughters
Overall,
and
it's
the
a great
female
movie.
characters are very. This was a situation where the female characters were quote unquote strong, but not because they were given bitchy
really.
dialogue, but because of their actions
yes.
and how they reacted to the
so
consequences
were
of the
the
story.
male characters. So were everyone was. That's what I'm talking
it's ultimately about
some
fathers
degree
and
of like,
sons.
is this like these people who had to like deal. But not only that, but like fathers and like who, like different families, like different people of like different structures and like different.
Well, if you really want to break it down, even the Stephen Lang Avatar, how he relates to his human version. I love the sequence where he was watching the video to
and
himself.
This whole idea of like these bad guys who are now basically him. Right, because he's dead, but now he's not dead. But like this is like him doing this, but like now, so here's these bad guys, and Spider also dealing with this of like. Here's this guy who's like his father, but is he his father? Not really, but kind of. And so like he saves them in the end, but like not really. Like he's like, I saved you. Like fuck you at this point. Like and he
but that'll get developed as we know. That's for sure going to get developed in the next one.
That's fucking good. Like that's legit good storytelling, right?
Yeah, that's some Star Wars type shit.
That's what I'm telling you. Like that's why this movie was like surprisingly like it was too long, 100%. But like it didn't. I don't know. Like it just earned it.
It held its water.
It did. For real.
There you go.
It kind of did. Like I wish it was shorter. I wish it was half an hour, if not more, shorter than what it was. But it fucking works.
It does, and I'm interested to see where the next one goes, and I'm happy it's having the success that it's having, because I do think along with Top Gun, it's a big-time crowd pleaser, and it's bringing a hell of a lot of people back to theaters, so I'm very happy about that. Let's talk about Tickets to Paradise. This is the George Clooney, Julia Roberts rom-com that came out last October.
2 Tickets to Paradise.
I saw this in theaters, and I was telling you how much I enjoyed this damn thing, and I couldn't tell if I was just getting older or what, but I was just enjoying looking at two movie stars that hadn't had a whole ton of plastic surgery on themselves. They looked age appropriate.
But they have.
Look like
Come on.
Well, of course they have, but it's not like, look, it's not as obvious as say like a Sandra Bullock right now who looks frozen, but at the same time they looked like they actually enjoyed each other. The chemistry was right.
Looks wonderful.
She does look wonderful. I mean, she'll always look wonderful, but I'm saying that movie star charisma goes a long way, and I thought that it carried the day in this lightweight movie that was really enjoyable.
Yeah, why is this movie so fucking good, guys? Like, if you have not seen Ticket to Paradise,
watch the fucking thing. It's on
oh,
Peacock
shame
now.
on you. This is fucking good. This is a flat out good goddamn movie, and George Clooney, Julia Roberts is fucking good in this. The kids are good in this. Everybody's good in this, and it's
the contrivances
realistic.
are good.
It makes you feel like a human being, and it's funny, and it's touching, and yeah, I was absolutely 100% blown away by how good this movie was, because I was
charmed. Charmed
is a good way to put it, because I did not expect anything anywhere near this. Yeah, no, really.
I went to see this begrudgingly. We hadn't been to a movie in a while. We saw it in a packed house.
That's
the lady
best.
next to me was laughing, and in the trailer at every single I mean, she laughed 732 times in this movie. But by the end, I was laughing too, and I had a smile on my face for most of the movie. And just that sequence where they get drunk with the kids, it just looks fun.
Everything
and they look
is
like
good
they're
with this.
enjoying it. Yes.
Oh yes, and her
her boyfriend, the pilot, is very
too good to be true, and then he wins them over, and of course, and they navigate to destroy him in some way, but he knows, and then he pushes them. And the way that this whole thing is put together, whoever wrote this, and I guess Ol Parker, writer and director,
guy who did Mamma Mia.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Yeah, I didn't like Mamma Mia.
Do you know what I did like about this?
I
want to say
this is fantastic.
I want to point this out too as part of the script that I actually enjoyed, and what made me like the Clooney character even more and get on his side was they gave the young love interest to the Julia Roberts character. Because if they had given that young love interest like a stewardess to the George Clooney character, he comes off as callous and shallow and not very. I hear you,
but I don't think that was that.
I thought it was a nice touch.
I'm not against what you're saying, and I agree, and perhaps that was the point of what they're doing. But I don't think it works, or I don't think it doesn't work necessarily the other way.
But I thought that making her love interest kind of a dopey, sympathetic figure as well. You don't hate the guy. You're not rooting against him.
Here. Like he is the most against the wedding in general, and she is like floundering here and there, And so to take that and to flip that on the other side, to have her be the person who is the most involved with someone younger, and he's like doesn't have that. Works in that sense of like flip-floppiness of like between the two. And so there's something about this movie in general from every single aspect of like creation that just works.
Yeah, I agree.
And it fires on all cylinders. No, it's unbelievable. Even to the end, which I think is a ridiculous ending.
Yeah,
by the way.
Of course.
It's like it's possibly the worst ending this movie could possibly have had, and it
still works.
Oh,
I know.
Are you fucking kidding me? Yes, it works. It is dog shit. I'm not even gonna.
It makes no sense logically.
Oh, it's a dog shit ending, and it is the ending I fucking wanted. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Am I a dog shit human being?
No, it means that this is the kind. You know what it is too? Is this is the kind of movie that it's skillfully done all the way around.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, yes, exactly. Like to your point, like you're trying to like say like this is this and that, and like, but like I don't even fucking I don't understand this movie. Like this movie is so perfect. It's almost a mess of dog shit. Like someone threw like a bunch of dog shit against the wall and it fucking worked, and that's this movie.
But it seems effortless, which is unbelievable to me. There's an effortless quality
because we're talking about the ending of this movie, which should not work. This is a dog shit ending. I'm not joking. It's dog shit. This is not an ending that in any other world I would watch this thing and I would think I would throw up. And I
even
love
on a sitcom.
I want it.
I know. I agree.
I want it. I want this ending.
It's the kind of movie you come out of watching and you want to hug yourself. You're like, this is just, you had a good time. And
so
it was
why
just,
is that?
I feel
like to some degree casting is a huge deal here.
Location.
Yes. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, a light touch throughout, and just a professionally done all the way around.
I think it's
like
a great
I said,
movie. I think people should watch it.
Movie star charisma at its finest. This and Top Gun, once again, old school movie star charisma at its finest.
Right, Top Gun. Yeah, watch Top Gun and then watch Ticket to Paradise. You'll be happy.
You'll be in the '90s again. You're happy as fuck.
Okay, moving on. What do you got next?
I got Babylon I want to talk to you about for a few minutes. I caught this in the theaters during its brief run, and a couple things I wanted to bring up. One was, before the movie starts, this was also 3 hours and 10 minutes long, so almost as long as Avatar. But before the movie starts, there was a message by Margot Robbie and the male star where they thank you for coming to the theater to watch it in its real presentation, and they do a little bit of the jazz sequence, and they show you how each speaker is working for this. And the best thing about this movie is the score. It should be nominated. It should win Best Score. It's fucking fantastic.
Isn't that the idea of this movie though? Is it flow? Isn't that the flow is the idea?
This is Michael
movie?
Cimino. This is a Michael Cimino type mess. It's one of the most entertaining spectacles I've seen in a long time. It's a bit of a laborious thing to get through it all in one sitting, I will say that, but there is a certain energy, and there are set pieces that go on for about 40 minutes. So it moves in major sequences like The Deer Hunter or Heaven's Gate, so where there's these major passages, and they do tie into each other, and Margot Robbie is acting her ass off, but also can be quite obnoxious because she's acting her ass off in every fucking scene. She's on a level 10, and Brad Pitt is fantastic in his moments. Tobey Maguire has an interesting. There's a sequence in the late part of the film that's a bit of a Boogie Nights and mixed with some, almost some David Lynchian type shit. I mean, it's bizarre. So
some like 8-inch, 10-inch dick. Whatever.
No, it's like I'd say more like some underground LA shit where they get in over their head and they're at a place they shouldn't be, and it's almost Kubrickian, like Eyes Wide Shut, with some sort of sex stuff and underground and perversions, and just bizarre shit going on. But also, it has a couple really nice sequences and says a lot about the silent era going into the talkies and what that would require from an actor. Yeah, and also the third character is the most unsuccessful character, is the jazz player, who's kind of an Al Jolson type character, and it just not. I mean, they address the blackface issue, and that becomes kind of a poignant. Yeah, so there are some poignant moments in this where
there was that Clooney movie not too long ago about.
But Leathernecks? Which one was that?
No. I have to look it up, but yes, close.
Which Clooney movie was the Hail Caesar?
Yes, Hail Caesar. Thank you.
That was a lot more lighthearted than this. This is a lot more serious. I mean, a person gets
similar. No, or
there's
not even.
People getting shit on left and right in this movie. It's vulgar. It's out of control. It's very. It's sexual. It's kind of a wild ride, and it's alive. I'll say that about the movie. There's a certain energy to it which makes you feel like there is a guiding hand. It's not woke. I'll say that. It's very aggressive in a lot of ways, and it's very progressive in other ways. So I'd say this. Look, it's going to be on Paramount Plus very soon because it did not do well in the theaters. It's worth a look at to anybody that loves cinema and can appreciate the amount of production design and cinematography, although there are so many shots that were soft in this that I thought it was an artistic choice at one point, because I thought there's no way an actual release could have this many out of focus or moments where characters goes out of focus and comes back in. I don't know if it was the projection I saw it from, but I noticed it throughout this movie, and it was really starting to fucking bug me.
Just be yeah.
Might have been
exactly
a flaw.
As you say, well, that's might be the decision.
Yeah, maybe it was, because maybe it says something that I'm not picking up on. But Margaret Robbie, what a talent, and what a beauty, and just a great
we know
her.
that, and certainly Brad Pitt as well. Yes, we know that these people are good at fucking what they do. Yeah.
And Damien Chazelle, his name is here.
As well as that.
Very good. Justin Hurwitz on the score, fantastic. I just think that this movie didn't necessarily. I don't know what he was trying to ultimately say about Hollywood.
Your, as you said, your score for
my nomination
Oscar.
for best score. Yeah, I think it's a lock for best score.
Really, you think this 100%. Is the best?
If you haven't listened,
I have not listened to it. Obviously,
listen to the track "Champagne." Anyone out there, if you have not done it, go to Spotify. Listen to the track "Champagne." It's fantastic.
I will actually listen to this if you're saying this shit.
100% my favorite score.
I think Oscars this year is interesting.
Yeah.
So if this is a lock, then I'll listen to it.
I think
you really
so.
think that.
I do. 100%. I'm not kidding you. I do.
Interesting.
Now tell me about Smile. Let's move on to Smile and let me know about this. Is it worth my time? This movie was the sleeper hit of the summer, right? With the huge box office returns. I mean, horror really had a comeback this year with Terrifier 2, Smile, now Megan, Black Phone. Where do you put this?
Terrifier 2. Yeah, Smile is fucked up. I'm not even gonna play. There are some movies. I watch a lot of horror movies.
Yeah, you do.
And they don't do shit to me, but there are some movies where I watch and the idea of the movie fucks me up.
Really resonates, like The Exorcist fucked me up like that, you know?
For sure, yeah. So for a lot of movies, so you say like The Exorcist, no problem.
The idea
for me. The idea, that's where we're at. Yeah, exactly. So and I've said this many times, there are some movies you just get that idea, it's just these movies fuck you up. And it's not the movie itself. Smile, I watched Smile. I laughed during Smile. I thought it was ridiculous. The movie's fucking idea fucked me up. I'm not even joking. It fucked me up. This is a good movie.
Yeah, you're recommending it?
Hands down, I recommend it. If you just want to watch a fucking horror movie, whatever, this is a horror movie. It's kind of fucked up. Weird shit happens. Fucking watch it. It's good.
Have you seen Barbarian yet?
No, I have not seen Barbarian yet.
Because everyone else talks about that as well, with these two kind of going hand in hand with each other. So I'm curious what your thoughts on that would be.
I imagine it's probably, I haven't seen Barbarian, but I imagine it's probably about as good, because we saw the Kevin Bacon one. Or
was
not.
it Sinister?
It wasn't Kevin Bacon. Or was it? No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it
Kevin
was.
Bacon.
Yeah, it was
No,
Black Phone. It was Ethan Hawke.
That was
Who might
Ethan
as well
Hawke.
be
Thank you.
Kevin Bacon.
Thank you. I know. For real? Yes.
I think
And that's
you just
exactly
had a
where my
Mandela
fucking mind
effect.
was. I'm glad your mind was there too.
Yeah,
I'm glad we met there in the middle.
We produced an Ethan Hawke.
But yes. Same idea, you know, or we're just like, yes, this is the fucking movie. And Smile's the same way. Like, but Smile is the opposite of Black Phone, where like you, like it's the movie you want it to be, but it's also not. Like it's like it fucking ends in a downer, right? Like it
Smile
ends in
does?
such a way. A Smile, right? Versus like a Black Phone, where it's like ends in the upper, really, because you're like
course.
Black Phone, like ends like you're like fuck yes, I win, and like Smile, you're like fuck no, you lose.
Nobody wins.
But it loses in such a way where you're like, oh Jesus fucking Christ, you know, is this shit
Is there going to
real?
be a sequel?
Yeah, for like
course.
Mothman Prophecies, like the same way for me. Like when I left the fucking theater after Mothman Prophecies was like this shit's real, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
I love that.
I'm about
That's how you know it's
to
working.
fucking get I'm trying to get in my car right now, and I'm about to get some Mothman Prophecies. Like this dude's about to be like, oh shit, like the bridge you're about to cross is about to fucking collapse. Like this shit's about to happen. Like seriously, like that's what Smile was like. Like and worse because Smile is not like Mothman Prophecies. Smile is like you're gonna fucking die.
All right, I got to see
It's
it
like
now.
after I got done watching Smile, it was like, oh, I'm about to fucking die.
Yeah, I mean, it did big box office. It
like
got great
The
word of
Ring
mouth.
or like any of those types of movies, yes. And so it's fun. Like if you like movies like that, I thought it was a lot of fun.
I'm going to
And
watch
hits
it because
all those points, and it's a really solid thriller horror movie.
I only watch a handful
honestly,
of horror films a year, and really they're the ones that
I
are the
would
breakouts.
say this would be one. This is the
Okay.
breakout one. It's easily, it's not like some ridiculous like.
It's a slasher film, right? It's
Yes.
slasher. Okay.
Well, to some degree. I mean, it's not. It doesn't try to be more than what it is. It just is what it is. And that's it.
Yeah, I'll take it. The last horror film I saw was Black Phone, and I thought it was damn good, to be honest with you. So this is the next
So
one
a
on the
lot like
list.
Black Phone, but or a lot like Black Phone, but opposite.
Now let's talk about the last one on the movie side of the review side of the show, and that's Bullet Train. This is Brad Pitt's summertime hit that came out in I think August there, and had a good run at the box office. I caught it here on streaming. I think you did as well. This is directed by the guy who was partly responsible for John Wick, also did Atomic Blonde and Hobbs and Shaw. This movie, as it went on, actually won me over. I was not particularly involved in it. I wasn't going with what it was selling for about the first 20 minutes, and then it did the odd thing where it actually grew on me. Normally after the 20-minute mark, I'm already like, fuck it, I'm not into it, I'm going to move on, but it doesn't usually get better for me. This actually increasingly got better. I think it's a little too chaotic in how many things they're trying to jam into this, but that was kind of the overall aesthetic they were going with, was chaotic. But I thought, as much as Pitt's in this and as good as he is, and Jamie King's good in this, the young girl who's turning into a hell of an actress, I thought Aaron Johnson was just fantastic in this. As one of the hitmen there, the English hitman whose partner, his brother, is obsessed with Thomas the Train. And those little touches I thought were really what made the movie for me. Not necessarily Brad Pitt's quirkiness or the visuals, which were pretty stunning at times, but just the quirkiness in the writing when it did, the humor came across in this much more than I thought it was going to.
So I've seen this multiple times at this point.
Have you really? Okay.
Which is, surprising.
That's a hell of a
right? 'Cause
compliment
I
now.
don't usually watch these fucking movies this much, and I would not have watched this multiple times. I saw it once and thought it's all right, and then my brother watched it, and I watched it again. And I thought it's actually kind of fucking good. Yeah, I'm surprised by everything that you said, hands down. Obviously, the director of this did this is David Lettich, who's did Deadpool movies, Deadpool 2, John Wick, Atomic Blonde. And quite honestly, I recommend this movie for people to watch more than once. When you watch this a second time, it's fucking better than the first time.
Really?
No joke. And this is from someone who does not like one. Because, first of all, I know... So after you watch it the first time, you know everything that's going to happen in it, right?
Right.
And it's blatantly obvious after you watch it the first time. And so the direction just stands out.
Yeah, I've been impressed with this guy's direction for a while.
Yeah, but to know what's going to happen before and to see that and just like the Mexican stuff in this, I thought was so fucking good.
Oh yeah, the Desperado.
Oh my god!
Mercenary.
Like the first time I watched it, I
fantastic.
thought, "Oh my god, this is fucking fantastic." And then to watch it a second time, it's like, "Oh yeah, it's absolutely fantastic."
Well, there's so many influences too. There's Jackie Chan's influence. There's Robert Rodriguez's influence. They're all over the places.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So watch this a second time because it's more apparent. Not only is it more apparent, but it's easier to watch the second time. Because kind of everything that's going on, and I don't know.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it was a lot better than what I was expecting. Yeah.
As you say that, and so I'll say that for a second watch. Yeah, it's even better than it's just better than you would ever have imagined this would have been. It's not a great movie, but it's better than ever it should have been.
Yeah, you sold me. I'm going to give it another view then the next
I don't know about these David Lettich. There's David or whatever his name is, Letch movies are, but yeah, I find them surprisingly rewatchable.
They're cleanly shot and edited, and I think
not only that, but there's
doesn't like a lot of fat on the bone.
There's a thought behind like everything that you watch, and so when you watch it again, like you kind of get that again. Like I don't know. He somehow has more of a cerebral touch to the things that he directs than he should have.
Hey, he's a stuntman, so not many people would think that he'd have a cerebral touch to anything. But yeah,
it's true.
I know he just signed up to do. I can't recall what his next project is, but it's going to be a good one. I just read what he was signed up to do, and it was something.
I'm surprised. I would watch. I'll throw this down for you right now. I would watch Bullet Train for a third time.
Holy shit.
I'm not even joking. I think this is a good fucking movie. I'd watch it for a third time. I don't think I'd have any problem watching this for a third time.
I can't think of another movie outside of maybe Top Gun that you say that you'd watch 3 times that came out in the last 5 years.
Yeah, and I'd have no problem watching Top Gun. Fucking
yeah, me neither. Yeah, I'll put that
so
on
yeah, I would have no problem watching this for a third time. I don't think I would.
All right, that's a hell of a recommendation right there. So we're both recommending Bullet Train to you. Let's move on and talk a little bit of movie news. Talk about the sad passing of Albert Pyun. This is a guy who, if you grew up in the 1980s, you knew his movies as Cyborg, Captain America, the 1990 version.
So many.
I mean,
my God,
we can go on and on. Sword and the Sorcerer.
Sword and the Sorcerer, right? Nemesis.
Radioactive
all
Dreams,
shit.
Nemesis. Yeah, I mean, it just goes on. Adrenaline, Fear the
Alien,
Rush. I mean,
Alien from L.A., which and
Deadly
also
Friend.
the sequel. Deadly. Oh no, was him?
Christy Swanson, isn't it?
Was that him or was that? I thought that was a
That's Wes Craven. You're right.
Wes Craven.
That's Wes Craven. I was going to give him credit.
Close.
He'd have taken it.
Close. He would
have
have taken it. Yeah, Albert Pyun's fucking awesome.
Albert Pyun was, I guess, a camera assistant
I did just watch Blast
operator.
Not too long ago. What was
Blast
the other
is
one?
Great.
Blast, and there's
Omega Doom with Rutger Hauer. That's a great one. I mean, he's done so many. I mean,
He's
some that
really
are
done so many that you can't even think of them until you.
Mean Guns.
Oh, there's a good one. Yeah, until you go
Crazy
back
Six.
through Crazy Six. Yeah, there's another one that I have. Yeah, until you go back and really look at his
filmography. I mean, Postmortem with Charlie Sheen. I mean, he's just did a shitload of these movies, and really. Cyborg to me and The Sword and the Sorcerer were always his high point.
Cyborg, Sorcerer, Nemesis. Yeah, these are
the high points of the career, right?
His Marvel stuff,
he was supposed to do Captain. Well, he did Captain America. He was supposed to do Spider-Man. He was supposed to do Master of the Universe too.
I just say like Master of the Universe and like Cyborg and stuff like these. These are the types of things I'm talking about. Like he defined that kind of like genre of like post-apocalyptic stuff during the early 90s. He really did.
The Wasteland Wanderer type stuff, as you would have called it, you know.
Really
that was his bread and butter. I mean, Nights was another one with Kathy Long and Chris Christopherson, you know, that came out with a post-apocalyptic.
From LA, it's the very same thing.
Which you just got on Blu-ray, correct? From Vinegar Syndrome?
That, and then, yes.
Did that have a commentary by Pyun?
It did. I watched I didn't watch the commentary, but I did watch the making of esque commentary, which was fairly recently from him. And I don't know. I've been following him for a long time, but he kind of fell off on Facebook, and then apparently for some reason the Facebook thing came back online, and they found out about it, and then just at that time. He was dying, which is like, God damn.
Yeah, I know. Way to come back on.
Like,
I know.
Way to come back. Like, oh my God. And his ex-wife stuff. They just did. There's a documentary right now being filmed. They just filmed in Hawaii where they spread his ashes and stuff, and they just did all that. So I can't wait.
I'd love to see that.
Weird to fucking say I can't wait. You know, but you know what I mean. Like, this is a guy who like, seriously, I have fucking signed shit from him. Like he's legit. Like he knows me, I know him. Like
he commented on our website. He's commented on our reviews for 100%. His movies.
I love this guy, and I love his fucking movies and stuff. Yes, much like Don the Dragon Wilson. Like a lot of these guys who are, you'd be surprised to know that you can reach out and touch these guys. Because they've reached out and touched you, you know, for many decades, you know, and you can talk to them. So yeah, it's a huge letdown, I guess, or not.
As he was dying in December, his wife was asking for messages to be read to them, and so she was reading them to him. And I actually wrote a message and sent it to her and just basically said that I saw Cyborg on my 10th birthday and he was one of my influences and thank you for your creative work and da-da-da-da. Yeah. And she wrote me back. Did I tell you this? She wrote me back and said, Jason, I'm so sorry. I didn't get a chance to read this to Albert before he passed.
Yeah.
Please post this message on the fan page so that others can see as well. But she wrote back and, you know, and basically apologized that she didn't get a chance to see it. But I just thought,
this was sad that
this guy didn't know in the end that he would touch so many people. I think
he did, 100%, because we knew this. I have a fucking signed copy of Cyborg, director's cut, whatever, to Movie Mavericks, this and that. He knew we loved it. He knew everyone, both him and his wife.
Well, let me tell you this.
It's no
I
joke.
posted that message on Facebook, and the person who posted right above me was director James Wan of Insidious and Aquaman Fate, who said, thank you for being an inspiration and showing that an Asian filmmaker can do this. I mean, honestly, James Wan was posting.
And he was one of those guys who...
the trailblazer.
A trailblazer. This dude didn't give a fuck. Like, I don't even know how to tell you about some shit like... From fucking some shit like, you shot some 35 millimeter, and like shit didn't turn out well. This didn't give a fuck. He had a movie at the end of the fucking day. And like, oh, he got some light leaks? This dude had a fucking movie.
Well, do you know what I heard he was doing on some sets? He was filming 2 movies with the same crew.
No,
and
100% he
letting
did.
The studio know one. And
oh my God,
that's crazy.
So watch this. That's why I can't wait for this fucking documentary. I hope this shit covers this, because the way this dude took advantage of, and I say that in the nicest way I can, because this dude was like there was some fucking some fucking volcanic activity and some shit
there was
went
some
down.
fuckery.
Oh,
yeah.
This dude took advantage of that shit.
I love it.
100%
Yeah.
to do this. Yes, he knew what he was doing. Albert Pyun was a fucking genius.
If you ever see Kickboxer
can't
2, you
like-
can clearly see that blood match was
Oh my
filmed on the
God.
nights that they weren't filming Kickboxer 2 because it's the same set, the same
Yes.
arena, the same everything.
That's canon though. That's fucking
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
That's ingenuity
like, this
back
dude's-
then.
Yes, exactly. I just
he's
can't. Yeah.
He'll never get his just due. He's not going to be an Oscar winner, but his films, you most likely have seen one or more of his films without even realizing it. And some of them are absolute schlock. Most of them have some great shots in it, and almost all of them are eminently watchable. So to the great Albert Pyun, we salute you here at Movie Mavericks. It is a loss. And like I said, I wrote to his to hopefully him, and I haven't read it to it, but when he touched my life, so I just wanted him to let him know at the end that thank him. But let's move on before I get choked up here. Let's talk about Scream 6. This is the franchise that all of a sudden got reinvigorated for some reason, and I don't really know why. The last one I didn't think was worthy of another sequel, but here we are with Scream 6, which is the second in the new series, and it's going to get a 3D retrofit, which I thought was real interesting because the success of Avatar 2 has now made it so I guess you can goose ticket sales with 3D again. Is that what we're going for? Why put this in 3D? Isn't this what they did with Clash of the Titans? I mean, this is how we ruined 3D with Alice in Wonderland and all that
Titans.
terrible fucking 3D shit that came out. Remember that?
Yeah. No, I know.
All those movies that were released in the
Good
wake of
shit.
the original Avatar. Fucking awful. So if you see Scream 6, please don't see it in 3D. Please don't. Stop this madness. Let's save the 3D for movies that really need it.
You say that. Come on. 48 high frame rate 3D. Come on, guys. That's where we're at.
I'm
Please.
done with the
No,
fucking
don't fight it. Make it happen.
I'm done with the
happen.
Scream movies.
No, don't fight it. 48
I
frame
dropped
shit.
out.
High frame
dropped
rate
out.
3D. Don't drop out.
Let me ask you,
It's
will you go
legit.
see this movie?
It's real.
Will
Let it
you
make
go
hap-
see
let it make it
Gladiator
happen.
2?
Yes, high frame rate 3D. Yes. Yes. Every movie. I don't care. High frame rate 3D. Yes.
You're in
I'm
for
there.
it? Okay. Yeah, I know. It's the laser projection and all that. When I was down in Burbank, I was
laser.
looking at
You're talking laser
AMC
and
has
3D high
laser.
frame rate?
Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy. I know.
Yes.
That
Please.
AMC in Burbank has some of the craziest showings of things. They had Black Panther there, and it was like in 7 different
Mm-hmm.
auditoriums with different options. One was standard, one was 3D, one was laser, one was 4D, it was like, Jesus, can I just see the fucking movie and have the same experience everybody else does? And that Burbank apparently is the highest grossing theater in the country. So that's pretty interesting.
That's because you gotta watch 4D,
Charges so
3D,
fucking
HD
much.
on the fucking ID and the fucking shit. Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're paying $22 a ticket to see The Whale.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck is
Hey,
this?
hey, it's 3D, bitch.
But
You gotta feel
Gladiator
the weight.
2,
You gotta feel the weight on your lap. That's
Yeah,
the whale.
I don't
That's fucking 500 pounds, bitch.
it just smells like this bad sock and
How
a
you
bad
feel
nutsack.
now? Yeah. You feel that shit? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go see The Whale. I have not seen that yet. Did you see that one yet? No.
I haven't. I love Brendan
Yeah.
Fraser though.
So do I. Yeah, I'm rooting for him. This
I hope he beats.
This
I
Oscar
hope he
season.
destroys the Mummy, even if he's got to sit there. You know,
I know.
he's got to sit, but beat the Mummy. He's got to do it.
Can we just get an Encino Man rehash, please? See where he's at now.
Just uncover him. He's a whale, but he's there.
It's George of the Jungle. He can play the gorilla.
He's there. Uncover him. Yeah, he's there. We've got him. All right, we found him.
All right, let's talk about some trailers here. Let's move on and talk about Dungeons and Dragons. Chris Pine's bid for another franchise. You had texted me and said this is as close to a Marvel movie as Marvel has come yet.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. This is Thor
It's,
all over again.
John Francis Daly, Goldstein fucking bullshit nonsense fucking thing. And they're just stealing from, what's his name? I don't fucking know the guy.
From Takiti Watika.
Thank you, Wakiti. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Whatever his
yeah,
name
the
is.
New Zealander.
Is that not what this is? Like, do you not expect Thor to just pop up in this shit? Be like, I got it. You know?
Well, that last shot of the guy jumping at the beast with the axe behind his head, you're like, oh, fuck, with the song playing.
This is the song playing exactly. Like, oh my God. Really?
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know what I was expecting from this, but at least it looks a little bit more of a light touch than the last go around, because that one from 20 years ago with Jeremy Irons was pretty fucking bad.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather watch that than this.
Marlon Wayans, I think, is in that too.
Wayans. Hey, that's better than this. Again, you're making it sound better. I don't know.
I don't know if Marlon Wayans playing a sidekick has ever made that movie better. It's like Rob Schneider.
There's 3 movies in between this and the other fucking thing. There's
like 2 direct-to-DVD sequels, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but the third one's hard to find. But so this, oh come on, this is a. Here we have Marvel
mixed with Sherlock Holmes and Guy Ritchie.
We think we have some degree of something that we can sell. So here we go. Like, let's make a Marvel movie. That's what this is. Yeah. Hands down. God. I mean, come on. It's just disgusting.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of this trailer. All right, let's talk about Barbie. This is a teaser trailer for the Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling film that comes out. Not much is shown here, but I wanted to talk about it because this is clearly an homage to 2001 and that famous clip where the monkey, uses the bone to break the skull, throws it in the air, and as it descends, turns into the spaceship. And in this, I mean, they play on that riff, but the most interesting thing about this is I didn't realize this was written by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach. So,
oh yeah, 100%.
What the fuck? I'm so curious of what this is going to be, but I have a feeling I'm going to like it. I kind of like this teaser.
Yeah, this is a fantastic teaser.
Right? It's got a healthy sense of humor about itself.
Yeah, this is just. This is just great. on every level. And look, it's a teaser, which I think plays into, because it doesn't give you an idea. It gives you an idea of what the movie is, but it doesn't.
It doesn't give anything away.
It's not supposed to like sell you on the movie. Yeah, it's like, this is just a teaser. This is like kind of the idea we're going in. And you're right. Son of a bitch, if not the damn Stanley Kubrick fucking like. Yeah. I mean, holy shit, this is great. Like, even to the point where like they decide like the kids are like, fuck these fucking dolls, and like breaking them and shit, and like breaking to pieces and shit. It's just like at that point you're just like, yeah, you know? And there's no reason for it. Yeah, there's no reason for it. Why you would be for this. So,
and she is perfectly cast.
I'm all for this.
He's perfectly cast.
I think Greta Gerwig is fantastic. I've liked it for a long time. Noah Baumbach, also fantastic. Yeah. Huge fan of both of them. So, yeah, I think it's great. I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm glad you're on the same page with me on that, because my interest is piqued, to say the least.
Yeah, I think it's great.
All right, let's talk about John Wick 4. This is obviously the 4th entry in the series that started as a little engine that could and has now turned into an epic action franchise. And this trailer is almost my feelings on the franchise, which is a little bit goes a long way. And I'm already exhausted by the end of this fucking trailer with the John Wick franchise. I mean, it's a gorgeous looking and, obviously dangerous, and there's horseback riding, and there's fucking all sorts of different, they're in Arabia at some point. So, I mean, who knows where they're taking this story. I do like the small touches with the man has to look good when he's married or buried, and this, that, and the other. But haven't we exhausted things? I mean, doesn't it look like more of the same of the same of the same? I mean, seriously, where are you at on this one?
Yeah, so I think this looks really good. I'm more than ready for this, but yeah, more of the same, of the same. Yeah, that's John fucking Wick. At this point, like,
at least they're bringing back the muscle cars.
Like, especially after the second, and especially after we got for the third one, it's like, oh boy, we're actually well aware that we are just more of the same, and this and that and everything else. And so the 4th one's not surprising. And look, I'll be honest with you. I think this is something you should see in a theater.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I'm gonna watch it in the theater. I saw this fucking trailer and I'm like, oh, this is theater shit right here. Like, I couldn't, like,
the compositions.
Will it be good? Will it be good, like, at home? Sure. Do I want to see it in the theater? Fuck yeah, I should watch it in the theater.
Yeah, I mean, at home, you can see that Reeves has maybe slowed down a touch as opposed to the first movie, whereas in the theater, on the third one at least, it was less apparent and more overwhelming as an experience because of the violence, the editing, the gunshots, you know.
It's
as
a lot
at
of
home,
nonsense.
You can pick it apart.
This whole shit's all nonsense. It's
of course.
Whatever. It's just all nonsense.
It's retroactive
so what
mythology.
You want to see this in good sound and fucking big screen? Yeah.
But that's my only problem with this franchise is that they had to make this mythology retroactively because they had no idea that this was going to be a thing.
And that's
so
from the very beginning.
The limitations from the story,
from all of it. So the first one's good not because of that, but yes, second, third, and now this fourth one. I agree with you. That's the whole issue. That's the problem with this entire franchise.
It's reverse engineered.
But if that's the only problem you got with this franchise,
yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
hey,
you gotta like fucking like. I would say, hands down, see this in the theater because this looks like theater worthy shit.
Yeah, and I will see it. I'm glad they're still making movies like this that are testosterone driven, I should say. Okay, let's talk about Knock at the Cabin Door, which is the #1 film in the country as we speak right now on this recording. I haven't got a chance to see it, but the audience reaction ratio is fairly low, C- cinema score below that of Old, which leads me to believe exactly what I thought about this trailer, which is that M. Night has better trailers than movies. I'm no longer going along for the ride. I'm sure this movie is intense. I'm sure it has a twist ending. But after the last one with Old, I'm fucking done. You got me with The Village. You got me with Old. You got me with this one. I'm just done. Done with this guy and his fucking movies.
It's so unfortunate because you think like
great premises.
Exactly. When I watch this trailer in this movie, I think like, fuck, like, are you like the only fucking person making movies that has any sort of thought or like?
No.
No. Because
this is what he does it 2/3 of the way.
He smacks me straight. Hey, listen, bitch.
No. 2/3 of the way.
Fucker.
It's an incomplete thought, Trevor. He never finishes his thoughts.
That's my point. But like, is that not? But is this not one of the few movies that you see where you're like, oh, like there's a thought here. There's something where like you're like, fuck, like is this not like missing from the other movies that you watch normally?
Yeah, look, yes, to some degree,
but it is.
Look, he's
right?
a master storyteller to a point, and then he sells himself out always.
100%. I'm well aware to admit that most of the fucking movies that I've seen like this are dog shit. Yes,
they are cop outs. They never fucking. They're great premise. They're great for a scene or two.
Why is he the only person who's thinking of like these interesting thoughts?
Because he's actually a classically trained filmmaker from USC. I mean, there's a pedigree
I'll
there.
throw A24 into this whole shit because A24 has movies like this that everyone's like, it's a great movie. And then you watch it and you're like, you know, like it had a good thought. It's not a great movie.
Look, I'll give him credit for this. He has maintained, and this is M. Night, he has maintained relevancy far longer than I thought he would have if you would have asked me back in 2005 or 6.
Yes, that's
because he reinvented his career as an indie filmmaker, quote unquote.
Because it's one of those, it's like that fucking.
I mean, wasn't there a Chris Pine movie that was just like this?
Oh, I don't know.
An indie film from a couple of years ago? With
I have no idea.
Oh man, I want to say Julianne Moore was in it.
I was gonna say, isn't it just like a fucking any of the sci-fi? Well, it actually just is sci-fi. In general, this is any of the sci-fi TV shows or
those movies.
If you were to go to like really any of the sci-fi stuff like Twilight Zone, really like this. That's kind of like where his mind is.
Yeah.
Like for most of his things where he starts from. But the problem is, and this is the problem that I think that what's his name?
Jordan Peele.
How'd you come to that shit? Like when I was right there.
Same idea
for real. right? Like this is like where this is the same issue, like where it ends. Like it begins in and Twilight Zone for real. He restarted that. It's legit. Like it starts like we're at a place where you're like, oh, this is interesting. This is good. This is an interesting idea, and then it ends at a point where you're like, this was not fucking thought out.
Worth my time.
You know, yeah,
it's
this
not worth
was
my
not
time.
really that fucking good. Like you tried, but no.
This is the problem with both of those filmmakers now is I don't want to be fucked with. I don't want to be teased and titillated to come to find out that it was all sizzle and no steak. And that's what keeps happening with both those filmmakers. And I'm not interested any longer. Because it's not about the anticipation always. It's about, at some point, paying off a logical conclusion to the story that you presented me with. Not just going, I'm the filmmaker and I can do anything because, fuck it, it's mine. That's a cop-out. Tarantino does that in a sense, but it's already built into his mythology. And, in a sense, it works a lot easier.
No, I feel like he's gotten away with it. He's gotten lucky. These guys have not gotten away with it.
Maybe
100%.
Tarantino's gotten away with it because he's using historical things.
Take these guys and take them for certain movies and stuff. They get away with it.
In certain instances, clearly.
They get away with
That's
it.
what made them who they were.
Yes, I know, exactly. And Tarantino's the same way, except Tarantino has, for whatever reason he's good at it, rips off from other movies. So he'll take from this movie during this time period, and then he'll go for this newer movie and he'll rip off some other fucking movie.
He can blend that beautifully.
So you're good. Yeah, you're good either way with him. Whereas these guys rely on only themselves, especially like some of the stuff. Like Jordan Peele is very like, like all biblical weird shit, that he puts in stuff, and you're just like, doesn't necessarily work.
No, but at least look. I'll say this about Peele, Tarantino, M. Night. At least they're producing original screenplays.
Yes,
and so you know what I mean. That are not just franchise starters. That are not just.
That's it.
So I'll say that.
That's why I'm willing to give
that.
them a shot at this. Like that's why I'm willing. We talk about this trailer, and I'll watch this fucking movie because I'm willing to give M. Night Shyamalan a shot at this because it's interesting. Who else is making a movie like this? Nobody.
Look, I'd love to, but at the same time, I got burnt on Old, and I'm never giving this guy any more of my fucking life.
Come on, Old's dog shit. Whatever.
Let me know how
differently
this last
than that.
third goes.
I'll watch this. I'd watch this. Old's terrible.
All right, let's move on and talk about Guardians of the Galaxy, the last trailer on tonight's show. This is obviously the Volume 3, the last leg
what do we got
of
for
James Gunn's trilogy.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, for all the fucking DC movies we're about to fucking see. You ready for a fucking Superman movie based on this?
No, this is a fantastic trailer, though, right?
It's a great trailer. Every
looks
single
great.
fucking goddamn Guardians of the Galaxy trailer has been great.
Are
you fucking kidding me? Great.
The
whatever.
Guns N' Roses song and everything.
Great. What's the new Superman trailer going to be like? I'm not joking. They put this dude in charge of DC.
Yeah, I know. It's a strange
Are you
move.
kidding me? This dude made the most dog shit fucking Suicide Squad movie you could make. This dude made it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not joking. Come on. What the fuck?
Do you know what he does, though? He takes a very esoteric property and then makes it uninviting. And I don't understand how he's going to do that.
I don't know about
Guardians of
that. He's made this really great. He's made a couple of really fucking fantastic. He's made probably the best trauma movie I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Romeo and Juliet's fantastic.
God damn it.
Slither is fantastic.
Yes, hands down, the dude's great at what he does. For the same reason I don't want fucking Watiki. What the fuck his name?
Watiki Wataka or some shit?
Yeah, the same way I don't want his fucking in charge of this shit. Like that dude made a movie about the vampire shit. What was that shit?
We Don't Cast Shadows.
We Don't Cast Shadows. I'll tell you something. His movie's dog shit. The TV show is fantastic.
It was. I agree.
Yeah.
The TV show's hilarious.
He's not great, and he's made some good shit here and there, to be fair, and so has James Gunn. Obviously, I've been a big fan for a long time.
Yeah, you love James Gunn.
But he's made some dog shit stuff, and
Brightburn was awful.
Awful. It's more than that. I just don't think he's got what it takes to run DC. I think it's a huge mistake. And I mean, fuck you guys. I don't know what the hell to do with these fucking movies, but other than just say these movies don't belong in the same universe. You want to make some Superman movies? Make some fucking Superman movies. You want to see some Batman movies? Make some fucking Batman movies. They do not belong in the same goddamn universe.
For context, Trevor's saying
joking.
that
they don't belong in the same universe. Find a fucking director to make these things.
All right, hold on. Trevor's saying because James Gunn is now head of DC, if you didn't know, and they released their slate this week, and they're redoing, they're recasting
disgusting.
Batman. There's going to be 2 simultaneous Batmans going on.
We have this fucking, we got this
Superman.
goddamn fucking Twilight
one.
fucking Batman shit that's still going to happen. Why is that happening still? If we're going to fucking
the last
get
one
another
made
Batman
$800
movie.
million. Because they're going to keep milking this shit.
This wasn't even that
If you
good.
go to the Warner Brothers tour, you'll know they're going to milk those characters for everything.
If that's where we're at, then we're not helping. Like we're not at a better place than we were at before, right?
Yeah, it's not. I don't know, but
Someone
this trailer
needs to have a fucking clue. This trailer's
Get
great.
back to the trailer. Yeah, the trailer
Guardians
was
of the Galaxy,
fantastic.
he's great at. I'm all for it. Hit it, James Gunn. Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm good. I'm down. I'm watching it.
Well, I love the last
down.
image of Groot shooting the gun back to back with Chris Pratt. I love that image.
I love it. He's great. And it's been almost 10 years since the first one came out now. So
yeah,
it's fucking crazy.
In Drax, I love that line about killing one person that nobody loves.
Yes. These are characters that like the actor, like the casting's fucking great. Obviously.
Did you watch the Christmas special?
I have not seen it yet, but
I was told that it was fantastic
really?
by multiple people.
Okay, well, I'll have to watch it then at this point. I really love the casting on this, obviously. And this played well into Infinity War and really into Avengers and all the other Marvel stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I liked the.
So, I don't know.
Guardians, I've always liked.
How are you going to not like this shit? But it gets to a point where, I don't know, can one person fucking run something like... Can we just not have separate things?
Yeah, can we have a coherent through line?
Do we have to? Does it have to be coherent?
I mean,
can't
do we
Batman
even need...
and fucking can't Guardians of the Galaxy exist separately from everything else? Can Batman? Do we have to have fucking does all this shit have to be together in a universe? Does it have to fucking be that way? I mean, god damn,
Well, he seems an odd choice to be running this, like you said, especially off of Suicide Squad, which I was not a fan of. You were not a fan of.
Wasn't that great? But like you said, the fucking show was fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whatchamacallit, the
we talking about the Christmas special?
The parrot, God.
Peacemaker.
Damn it, Peacemaker. Yeah,
it's so fucking
Jesus
good.
Christ, which is fucking fantastic. But so yeah, so you have a show like this stuff, but do you have to? I don't know. Isn't that fucking dangerous? Like to rely everything on certain things that are fucking great, and then everything else is dog shit. Like I don't know.
Well, Warner Brothers is known for doing this.
But does Marvel have to? Because Marvel really is the problem here, right? They're the creators of all this of this universe bullshit.
Yeah, the world building.
Where everything
and all
has
that
to
kind of
come. Yeah, everything has to come together, and you're like, well, does it?
Where everything's a setup. There's no fun. There's no
come
conclusions.
together? Like, why does that have to come together?
Yeah.
Like, give a shit.
Well,
no.
Guardians at least looks like a promising end to the franchise, and clearly going to be the last one there. With this cast, at least, I know that Batista wants to move on, and I'm sure Pratt's going to be doing his own thing with the Terminal List, and I'll be happy to see these guys get a proper send off. So at least the entire filmmaking team's back, and I do think that the Guardians is one of the hidden crown jewels in this whole Marvel galaxy.
If you're what you just said, I think that'll be a mistake. That'll be an ending. That'll be. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. That would be ending of that franchise, and I don't know how that would stretch into the beginning of the new franchise, which doesn't exist yet.
Oh, they will.
I don't know. DC's fucked. I don't even know how they do this without these people.
Have you seen Black Adam yet?
Guaranteed. I have not, and I don't give a
Well, yeah,
fuck
watch
to see
watch
it.
that, and then tell me how DC is fuck, because that movie's
shit,
terrible.
you know, I'm all Shazam's where I'm at, and that's it.
Yeah, no, Shazam's good.
Seriously,
I like Shazam.
that's it. I'm fucked after
definitely
that.
like
Like you gotta fucking earn that shit after that, you know. I'm done.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're gonna let go of Wonder Woman, you guys have lost my confidence.
Fuck.
Totally.
Look, I've watched Avatar 2. I'll watch Avatar 3 because, you know, it kind of earned it. But I no way in fuck am I watching Avatar 4. unless Avatar 3 does some shit, you know. Like, I'm fucking done.
I don't have that much time in my life to be contributing to these.
Right? Like, I feel like there has to be some fucking lines drawn in the fucking sand at this point where it's just like, dudes, enough is a fucking enough of this shit, you know? Like, no more. No, I don't care. I don't care if it's good. No.
Well, that's our motto here at the Movie Mavericks podcast as well. And, fuck. Well, I guess that'll wrap up our show for the evening. And we want to thank you guys for joining us on this first show of the year. And we'll be back with a retro of RoboCop 3 on our next show. So join us soon for that. As a rundown, we'll tell you that Trevor gave a moderate recommendation to Shotgun Wedding. We both recommend Avatar 2. I'm disrecommending Babylon, but I do think it's an interesting mess. We both love Tickets to Paradise. Trevor liked Smile, and we both agreed that Bullet Train is worth your time. So those are our recommendations. It was a good week on the show. Basically recommended almost everything tonight, so that's a rarity for us. But it was a good night of movie watching. But join us soon. We'll be back with, like I said, retro of RoboCop 3. I think that's the next retrofit we're going to do. Retrospective we're going to do.
Oh, it'll be fit.
Yeah, it'd be nice and fit.
It'll fit in here. Yeah, it's all right.
Well, speaking for Trevor Henderson, I'm Jason Rugard, and of course, we are the Movie Mavericks. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Oh my, another magnificent episode has come to an end. If you're craving more, set your destination to moviemavericks.com, Warp 9. Engage!